everybody, Brickhouse here on a Friday, the first Friday of the new year, 2024. It's a beautiful day here in Florida. Gotta say, since I moved down here a couple months back, loving the weather, especially in November and December. Anyway, Elon Musk made some news yesterday. And the reason why is not because he went after Bob Iger. It's because now he's got a new person to kind of poke a little bit, and that's Mark Cuban. And it's because Mark Cuban had a ridiculous take, as posted on X, in regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion. But before I get to that, first I want to say thank you to the 14,000 plus of you that have subscribed to the channel in the past 10 months since I started this YouTube journey. 2023 was awesome. Looking forward to an even bigger 2024. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And don't forget to hit the like button too. Just saying. Now, with that out of the way, on with the video. Elon Musk roasts Mark Cuban for his take on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is from Outkick, Ian Miller. Elon Musk went after Mark Cuban on X on Thursday, exposing how Cuban's poor interpretation of DEI initiatives could easily lead to ridiculous outcomes, not to mention very poor business decisions. After the resignation of disgraced Harvard University president Claudine Gay, Cuban just couldn't help himself by weighing in on the discourse around diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts in business. And as so often is the case for Mark Cuban, he completely and purposefully missed the point. Here's what he posted over on X. Pretty lengthy thread. Let me help you out and give you my thoughts on DEI. Diversity. Number one, good business look where others don't. Find the employees that will put your business in the best possible position to succeed. You may not agree, but I take it as a given that there are good people of various races, ethnicities, orientation, etc., that are regularly excluded from hiring consideration. By extending our hiring search to include them, we can find people that are more qualified. The loss of DEI-phobic companies is my gain. 1A, we live in a country with very diverse demographics. In this era where trust of businesses can be hard to come by, people tend to connect more easily to people who are like them. Having a workforce that is diverse and representative of your stakeholders, that's scary, Mark, is good for business. Notice how he said stakeholders instead of shareholders. That's a conversation for another day, stakeholders versus shareholders. Elon chimed in. Actually, he was replying to Ed Krasenstein, one of the Krasenstein twins. Discrimination on the basis of race, which DEI does, is literally the definition of racism. Now, Mark just couldn't help himself. Equality or equity. Not equality, equity. Treating people equally does not mean treating them the same. I made the mistake for a lot of years thinking it did. Equity is a core principle of business. No, that means that all outcomes are the same, Mark. That's what equity means. Put your employees in a position to succeed, recognize their differences, and play to their strengths wherever possible. It is not a hard concept, but it's not easy to implement. Most workforces don't have the depth of management to do this well. When it's not done well, it can create tension and resentment. What he just described there is not equity. Inclusion. One of my favorite sayings is great employees reduce the stress of those around them. Great companies create environments to reduce unnecessary stress of their employees. I'm not talking hitting quota or getting the product out the door stress, which in turn increases productivity. This is what inclusion is all about, making all employees, no matter who they are or how they see themselves, feel comfortable in their environment and able to do their jobs. Again, it's not easy. See, now, again, I agree with that statement, but when you are forcing it via policy, that's where I have an issue. Now, some of you may disagree with me on that, and that's fine. But that's just my opinion. I'm not even going to get into why DEI is like healthcare. So what's the conclusion? If you don't think there is a need for DEI and it doesn't create a competitive advantage for your company, just look at X, post replies, quotes below. These are the same people that work for you or are your coworkers. Everyone is entitled to their point of view, but these same feelings, even if they are not said out loud, are heard loud and clear at work. So getting back to Elon, and Elon's response was, cool, so when should we expect to see a short, white Asian women on the Mavs? There you have it. Slam dunk. No pun intended. Needless to say, there was no reply from Mark Cuban after that response. Elon Musk makes a point about what DEI actually means. And that is equity in practice means that the hires on the Dallas Mavericks basketball team must represent the demographics of society, and that their outcomes as players, how good or bad they are, must be the same. That's the literal interpretation of equity. If you have a society that is, say, I'm just going to throw some numbers out there, say 40% white, 30% black, 20% Asian, 10% Latino, then your basketball team, the players on the court, must match those percentages. And no matter how good or bad the players are, the outcome for the players must be the same. If someone's getting more playing time or they're scoring more points, then you got to level the playing field so that everybody has the same result. That's what equity means. Now, if you look at the Dallas Mavericks roster, you have a couple guys that dominate, one of them being Luka Doncic, or Doncic, or whatever his name is. Is everybody else getting as much playing time as Luka? Is everybody averaging the same number of points per game as Luka? No. So your equity mark gets thrown out the window. But see, when you have a policy to enforce it, that's where you have a problem. Now, Clay Travis weighed in. I just love Clay. DEI would destroy all sports teams. The U.S. men's basketball team is all black. Black men are 13% of the male population. If our basketball team looked like America, 10 black men would need to be fired and replaced with 10 inferior white, Asian, and Hispanic players. There's your equity. Now, Mark Cuban may say, you know what? I'm going to give this short guy over here an interview. Or I'm going to give this short guy a tryout. But he would never hire that short person to replace Luka Doncic. Still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. even though that's what DEI would require in practice, equal outcomes, not opportunities. Clay also posted over on X, I had a lot of hope for Mark Cuban because he has that, FU money. And in the past was willing to be a unique thinker, a rebel, owner even. But social media has gelded him. He doesn't make smart arguments and seems terrified of offending anyone. As he's aged, he's become a coward. So Mark Cuban basically put out there what he thinks DEI should be, while Elon Musk gave him the smackdown and actually pointed out what DEI actually is. And to nobody's surprise, Mark Cuban, he's not going to figure out. He won't figure it out, and he's not going to respond. So, had to put this one together, folks. I know it's a little lengthy. I apologize for the length, but I just found it very interesting when you have two titans of business, especially one of the stature of Elon Musk, getting involved in a conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I'll leave it up to you, the viewer. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Share your opinion. What are your opinions on DEI? Do you think it should just be something that, human nature, naturally occurring? Of course, I don't agree with the equity part in equal outcomes. But while you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. And I thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you later.